Hi everybody, my name is Tommy, and today, of course, we are gonna learn about another lesson about science. Our lesson is why does a magnet stick to a fridge? Why does it stick to a fridge? So you're gonna learn in this lesson. If you have took notes carefully about this lesson, looking at your book, you might be able to follow my questions easily. And for some of you who don't have paper, you try to get a piece of wood and a cherry stick from a fire to draw to write down your own ideas. Like if you get a pencil, an old pencil or a pen or a marker, you put it in the fire. Then it will be cherry, which means that its head will be black. Then get a piece of wood wherever you could find at least the size of this paper. Then write down. It's also pretty easily, but it tickles a little bit. So now for part one, we're gonna learn about how they stick together. So are you ready? If you took the notes carefully, follow me and then listen to me. Part one first. Part one is going to be talking about some magnets that will be held up by a refrigerator. How do these notes stick to our refrigerators? They aren't glued on. This is because they are stuck to the door by magnets. The magnets also make sure the door closed so the food inside wouldn't thaw out and ruin. So that's what we should learn about in part one. It's a really short paragraph, but we're gonna have a few questions plus one experiment. Today we're gonna go through millions of experiments. The first thing you need for experiment is some chalk. Then after you get the chalk, get a piece of metal. Then get a magnet. Finally, get a wooden sphere. Now first, step one. Get a wooden sphere and rub with the magnet. Rub. Nothing happens. And H. Step two. Now get the chalk and rub with the magnet. Chalk rubbing with the magnet. The chalk just turns into smaller pieces and then falls off. Now then, trying to get a piece of metal and rub. This is where the magic comes. This is when the metal becomes magnetic. But for a short period of time. This is the metal. If there's a lot of metal on your when you're rubbing, it will slowly attract. When bing bong, it might hit your hand. So you might as well rub from the bottom. And then tape it to the table and rub from the bottom. Then all the magnetism will slowly stick. Ching chong ching. If you imagine a big magnet that is moving to the North Pole to the South Pole, that's exactly what the Earth is. About 300,000 years ago, the last whopping the last swapping poles have been reformed. When you go south, your compass points east. I mean, when you're going south, your compass points east, and when your compass points south, go north, and when you go north, your compass points south. When they swapped today, do you know why we're going in the right direction? One, it swapped the last time to make it full like this, and you see. Let's just move on with part 2. Now take out your notes from your mini bag and get to work. Day 2 is talking about glass, plastic, and wood. So are you ready to contribute with part 2? Now for part 2, you're gonna have 2 experiments. But first, read the diagram with me. First, I will say, magnets can only attract things that have metals. They only have metals. Not all only have metals. These metals might include screws, screwdrivers, and bolts. Those are some things that contain some item that a magnet can stick to. A magnet can only stick to things that have an outer or inner layer that is of metal. Well, what about the next one? If a magnet is put next to a marker, what you will think will happen? Does it attract or will it not attract? Of course, it will not attract. Now try getting a pair of headphones. Try getting a pair of headphones and a magnet. Try putting them together. Do they attract? No. Now try getting the bottom of the pencil. If you get the bottom of the pencil and put it with the magnet, then it will stick. That's called magnetism. It uses a force called magnetism. We're gonna learn about that in part 4. Well, for now, let's just move on with the experiments. For first experiment, what type of magnet does each one have? Try getting a rubbish bin, okay? Get a rubbish bin. Now, clean the rubbish bin to make it look clean. Then, number 2, the rubbish bin, when it is clean, try to do something. Then, get a paper bag. Then put it in there. See, it's only a small paper bag. Put it in there to make it look like the paper bag floats. Now get a ton of circular rounded shaped magnets and put it under the bag. If you have a big table, of course, put the circulars on the table. Then take them. Then try them with a magnet. Then could you see that one side tilts and one side go away? That is because of the repel and the attraction at the same time. This causing it to fly. Get a piece of metal. Then get a magnet. Now break it into. Stick it together. It can still stick properly. Now try getting the S point. Then breaking it again as it forms into a small magnet. Now put one piece on it and then look at it. Now put one piece and look at it. Could you see it's flying, dropping? It's going forward like a racing car. If you want to play, then get about 8 rows of those magnets. Then put 8 small ones and see which one runs the fastest. Ching ching, First, they'll start out with flying. When they come to a part that there are no magnets, then they put down. Then they will all be north. Then the north will run, and then they keep running until they make another, until they go over the first north. Then there will be another north about far away. Then the magnets will go to the next north. It's called racing car. It's called a game, racing magnets. Then you will make your last point about if you make your starting point there and your last point all the way across the room, you'll probably need to make the bends and curves a little farther away. If you want to, you could actually as you know, put the things that will put them tape a little tilted to see if it will go like this too. Running super fast so it wouldn't fall off. So how about if you did it and then upside down, like a roller coaster? Get a magnet and then the magnet will go over the roller coaster. Then it will be super fun for your little finger person. Then you can make a mini roller coaster toy and then sell it at a market for 25 cents each. Then you can wrap it around with paper. First, wrap it around with tin foil, then try it out. Does it really work? Now cut out the tin foil and place a few magnets there. Now the magnets will all be south. And then the other magnet will also be south. Then the magnets will try to race. And if a magnet crashes into another magnet, then one of the then they will stick together and keep going. Shing chong, going super fast until eventually they break up and just race. So, now, if you actually want to do that, you need a couple about $2,000 for the table and about $200 for the magnets. Then about $2,200. Pretty cool and pretty expensive. So, if you want to get a coach and drive around, will you notice that it goes up and down, up and down? This is because the force of magnets. The magnet will pull one of the bus's wheels when it goes up and down. That's why it's only driving on 3 wheels, like this. If you're driving a motorcycle, there will be 2 wheels. Here is the tricky part. When you see the circular things, you might say it's a magnet that will bam, stick, and then the motorcycle flips. Ching! No way. It's just the part that makes it more softer when it goes on the up and downs. And if you get the left and right buttons, it goes left and right. If you see the up and down buttons, which means you flip. And you see these, you go forward super fast. She crash into bridge and bam! You fly sky high into the sky. That's what it's called. Sky high in the sky. Then after you're sky high, then you probably land somewhere ridiculous. So now, what have you learned in part 2? Comment down below. Now we'll take a short break and come back for part 3, part 4, and part 5. See you for part 3, part 4, and part 5. Have you ever wanted to come back from vacation and then only take a short break about 3 seconds and come back? Well, this is what you feel after the break. But now we're going to learn something even more important than a break. Something that you might never even know before. First, get out your notes and then see. Cross out day 1 and day 2. Now focus to day 3 and day 4. Day 3 or part 3 is gonna talk about iron. So flip the page, as you know, page 103, and then complete the gaps. Read it first, then I will read it. Now you finish reading it. If you don't have enough time, because to me the paragraph's really short, about 30 seconds I've finished. But for you probably need a little bit more time to read it. So all you need is pause the video, get the pen and draw a triangle and press tick. Finally, it's paused with 2 pause buttons. You can best press either. If you press the first pause button, it moves super fast. If you press the second pause, if you press the first button, of course, it will. And second. Kablush. That's how it feels. If you press the third button, it will be like this. Hello everybody, my name is Tommy, and I'm gonna say blah 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 in each sentence. And if you press the fourth button, still it says nothing. And finally the fifth button, it goes to normal. So you need to find the fifth pause button so you could try it on. Make sure you only choose once. If you choose more than once, yeah, game over. Ha 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 ha. Now for the next game up and game over, we are gonna talk about the types of magnets. That's what we're gonna talk about in part 4. Part 4. Have you ever wondered how magnets stick to refrigerators? It is because of a force called magnetism. Magnetism is basically the magnetical force that moves from one place to another. For example, if you throw something metal really near, then if the metal is too big and you're holding it, you probably stick. But if you are standing far away and you throw it and gets lower, it flies super fast at the speed of light, and then it moves into the magnet again. Now I'll give you an experiment. Try getting a super tiny magnet, then wrap it around with a cube that is made out of paper. Then get another magnet which is big. But to kicking the other magnet. Does the 2 magnets stick together? Comment down below. If they do, then press enter. But if they don't, now I'm gonna say some of you do stick and some of you don't stick. This is because where the magnet is and which hole the magnet is pointing. If you're pointing south and your other magnet is pointing west, north, they stick. But if your magnet is pointing south and the other magnet is pointing south, it'll probably come back and then bam, boom, bam. Like the paper has a shield. So there's another force called repellentism, and also repellentic. So we have magnetic. When something acts like a magnet, it is called magnetic. Magnetic is basically something that we really want. Iron Man is magnetic. So he has iron hands, iron feet. A magnet can attract to everything that is made out of metal and made out of iron. For example, the chair, the desk, or you could say this desk, that chair, that TV, or my metal belt buckle. So that's what it takes to be a metal investigator. Now grab your binoculars and get to work. You will become a magnet investigator. First, look at something that is made out of metal. Use your binoculars and observe it. Could you see any points on it? That is iron. Now try getting a magnet to put it, but it doesn't stick. Why doesn't it stick? Well, it doesn't stick because because the spikes are really thorns that come out, and two, that's not a magnet. Now try getting a real magnet with some real iron. Now try sticking the iron, getting the iron and make a mini refrigerator. Now get your favorite drawing and place it on it. Now get a little teeny tiny magnet and place it. When you put it upside down, the drawing doesn't fall. This is because of magnetism. And magnetism is used in all forces of metals, magnets, and other things. So in part 3 and part 4, we have learned about iron and the force of magnets, magnetism and magnetic. In part 5, we are gonna review by looking at one experiment. Really cool. The Super Duper Gumba Lock 2000. So see you in part 5. Now are you ready for part 5? Super Duper Combo Lock 2000. Get your padlock, unlock your locker, get all your stolen money, throw it around like a lunatic, and get to work. First, if you have a stolen pen, of course, get the pen. Then get something you stolen that was metal. Then get a stolen magnet. Now try rubbing them onto the same time. Could you see that one is pulling and one is repelling? So it's kind of like this. Shoo. So it's like an alligator mouth. When it moves to the north, it snaps. With the south, it opens. With the north, it snaps. So this is the automatic. It needs a lot of magnets. First, you need a spinning engine. So a spinning engine, of course, prepared it. Then get a piece of paper and poke it through the spinning engine. Make sure it's to that wheelie thing. Then get a bunch of magnets and stick to the paper. Then get something made of metal that's, of course, light. Then try to get it to snap. When it moves to the north, it opens. Move to the south, it snaps. North, open, boom, 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 like this. Heat, boom, 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 heat, boom. So it likes that. When it spins around as fast because of the engine, then it goes heat boom, heat boom, heat boom, heat boom, like that. And the alligator probably gets busy snapping. Then if you want to make another magnetic toy, you should probably get a fishing rod, a toy fishing rod. Place a magnet inside it. Now make some toy fish that are made of plastic. Well, inside of each of their tails is a metal. Then try to stick the fishing rod with it. Then get something that will move the fish around. Play fishing. Now, you see, those are some of the most expensive and interesting experiments. If you have a lot of magnets, if you have a chance to use lava, you could use You get the magnets, get iron, and make it into moist. Moist. Do you know what is moist means? It's like water iron. Then get the water iron plus a magnet, a super tall magnet. I mean, just like a square magnet. Look at the water iron absorb like it like metal. Or to make it more fun, make it a sculpture of Venom. Like the man that's inside the Venom. Then draw some eyes on the slime. Then the slime will slowly attract, and then Venom will have his eyes. Or you can make it absorb first and then draw the eyes. Then Venom. Boom, pow, boom, pow, and ooh. So now you see that is the end of our lesson today about why does a magnet stick to a refrigerator or a fridge. See you next time for the next lesson. See you. As long as you study hard, you could do anything.